This is your main man RJ from the Ringside Rant, heard only on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. So go over and subscribe across all your major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher to hear every great interview I have every Monday on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. Go over and follow the show's page on Twitter @_Ringside Rant. Follow the network's page @BizWrestleNet. And, as always, embrace the vision.
Hello, friends. This is Spencer Love, your host of Over the Top Rope on the Win Column Sports Network. Don't forget you can head to wincolumnsports.ca for all of your previews, reviews, and breaking news from the world of wrestling, be it your major promotions or from the great province of Alberta, Canada.
If you like podcasts and you are listening on Backbreaker Media, then you should listen to me, Chris Parrish,
and myself, Manoy,
and the Sounds of Struggle, because we are literally the most entertaining duo you'll ever come across in Western Canadian wrestling, baby.
We talk about things like wrestling
and other sports we like.
Wrestling.
But we won't talk about other sports that we don't like, because it's not that kind of podcast.
Like wrestling.
I mean, we like hockey.
And wrestling.
And we like football.
And wrestling.
And we also like to drink beer.
While wrestling.
Well, not while wrestling, but while watching wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to get into a conversation with Maniac and Chris Parrish, then you need to tune into the Sounds of Struggle live on Backbreaker Media.
Every Thursday.
It's when we hope to drop, but sometimes Mike Malawany doesn't do his job right.
Or we're too drunk to forget.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
He can bleep out the swear word, because we weren't supposed to do that.
Oh,
but
I'll try not to swear. I can't do it.
Yeah. Let's face it, the two of us, we're real.
And spectacular.
And we're a little bit of all right.
Yeah.
Well, so strugglicious.
That we are.
That was kind of the cue. Supposed to be a strugglicious.
Oh, sorry, I'm drunk.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to listen to us, then no. You're stupid, because we're entertaining. And if you want to listen to us, then come listen to us on Backbreaker Media.
Yeah. What he said.
Later, bitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Quick Calls. I am your host, Andre C. And we are here at RCW's Dealer's Choice at the St. John's Cultural Center in very snowy Edmonton, Alberta. And I am joined here tonight by two people I loved on the show, and a man who debuted on the last editions of Quick Calls that we did, my good buddy Dylan.
How's it going?
And as always, a man who's pretty much on every one of these shows, the Wrestling Mind, Brian Hamilton. How's it going, guys? So tonight we saw Dealer's Choice, a randomized randomized show for the most part, except for outside of I think the main event. Everything was pretty randomized, and I really enjoyed tonight. I thought, given the randomness and everything.
Oh yeah, it was the wild night, 6 great matches. Crowd was wild tonight, sold out building. Can't complain.
Yeah, I like the format with the. At one point, they were bringing people out of the crowd to pick cards to. You didn't know what was going to happen. Okay, they brought Thaddeus' kid out to pick a card, but
yeah, I think he pandered to the boss. But yeah, I thought overall good night, and it featured a really great tumble too on top of it all from a good friend of ours. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So to kick off the night, we got a match between
we had
So we have the kick off the night. we had Thaddeus Archer come out to the ring, and he led the 10 bell salute with the entire roster around the ring for our fallen brother, a man who I got to know very well working for RCW, and we all got to, like, a bunch of us got to know just as fans. Bone Crusher Billy Day, who passed away recently, and like it was an emotional little bit there for the 10 bell salute. Like I dropped a tear or two. I miss that guy to death.
I thought they did a really good job of that, and I noticed it carried on throughout the night, as in almost every match, at least one of the wrestlers had Billy's name or his initials written on their tape. They dedicated the whole show to him, and they should as well. They should have. I thought they did a really good job of that.
Yeah.
They did a great job honoring Billy. He was well known in this city. I've been following him for the last 8-9 years here in RCW, and he's going to be missed, man. Rest in peace, Bone Crusher.
Yeah, I remember the Dogs of War. Member of the First Family. Part of my favorite tag team ever in Dixon Boners.
Yeah,
I love this man, and you are dearly missed, Billy.
Damn right.
And the boys really put it, and they yelled at us to be loud and make sure Billy can hear you up there, and I hope he did. Hope he did, brother. So we get on to our first match of the evening, and it is Kenny. Or was it Keegan? Oh, Keegan B and Jasmine taking on Toro. I think it was Toro, right?
It was Tony Toro.
Tony Toro, the titty. as a joke between me and Mike sitting beside me. We said not that Mike, but I said TT, and we're like titty. But both brand new wrestlers to our local scene. I missed last one. Was either of these men here last month?
No.
Yeah, so both brand new to the scene, and as I got informed by our good buddy Mike, not that Mike, but another Mike, they had a pretty good debut. They both had a pretty good debuts last night in Calgary, and this is the second time here, and I really enjoyed this match. And then so you had Keegan, and Jasmine, his Valley Jasmine constantly interfering on the outside. And partway through this match, Thaddeus Archer III comes out and says, well, it's dealer's choice night, and I'm the dealer, so you're in this match. And then he said, well, if you don't get in here, he's going to lose. So she got out, and she got into this match, turning into it a handicap match. And I thought, great back and forth. She got in there a few times, and she slapped the hell out of him, out of Toro.
Yeah, it was for first time seeing these two new guys. They did pretty good. Actually, all three guys did pretty good when Jasmine or whatever got in there. Holy crap, can she hit? I thought, my God.
I swear she slapped the taste out of his mouth multiple times.
I thought it was a really good match, really good good intensity. It was a really entertaining kickoff, and it set a good tone for the night.
Yeah, and the ending came where Toro got the advantage and actually ended up pinning. Like he pushed Jasmine out of the way, ended up pinning, and then got the pin on Keegan. Then Keegan got really mad and was pushing Jasmine around, and then she slapped that shit out of him and just walked away and said, "The scream!" I almost scream screw you or something at him, and walked away from him. So I was like, first night we see them as a team here. Are they already breaking up? That's the question.
Yeah, exactly. Overall, though, I thought this was a pretty good match for the day for these three guys. Well, I don't know, they're for us anyways. For us anyways, for seeing them. Very interesting. And when the girl got in there, she actually did some good kicking ass on Tony there. And then, well, Bandano, she really let her partner there get it with a big slap when, my God, did she hit him.
Well, I heard from a couple friends of ours that come up to the show, Mike and Nick, that she actually was in a hell of a triple threat match last night in Calgary with KJ and Angelica. So I look forward to seeing the video on that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And there's no way they can be breaking up, or that team can be breaking up. They came out in really nice matching gear and everything. They got to be going.
A rip-off Space Jam logo.
Yeah, pretty much, eh?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And
they can't break up before I get one of those T-shirts with them both on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so then we go on to the second match of the evening, and out comes Thaddeus Archer III and announces about Steven Styles' bounty. That he put a bounty on Steven Styles, and then any man can pin him. They'll get a nice payment, no actual number, just so for all we know, it's $500 or $2, could be anything. But and then so he pulls the deck out of the card and to figure out what the match will be, and it ends up being a 3-way match. So, and out come his opponents. They are Black Cobra, accompanied by Mr. Spectrum, sorry. I always forget his name. And then out comes everybody's favorite Deadpool ripoff, Dead Zone, Mr. Strife Zone, as I like to call him now, because we all know it's Strife under the mask. Like, come on. It was proven a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was, but I don't think it was. He looked a little skinnier.
Well, maybe Strife lost some weight. Look at all the kicks, man. It was like he was very kick based. I still believe it's Strife under there.
It could be anybody. Who knows?
Yeah. So, and then out comes Mr. Owner of RCW, Steven Styles, that fat piece of crap. But Styles at 280. As 280. Okay, so it's 280 on his scale. Remember, Steven Styles has his own personal scale. He doesn't weigh in with everybody else. So I'm pretty sure he adjusts that down by about 100 pounds. So, but otherwise, so this match starts out, and actually it's actually Styles attacking both and then putting one on top of the other. And he says, because if they pin him, they get the bounty. But if he doesn't get pinned, nothing happens to him. So you gotta look at this going, okay, he doesn't care what happens in the match, because to him, if one of them pins the other, there's no repercussions to him in the end.
Yeah, and it got to the point where they started fighting over who would get to pin him.
Yeah.
So they were pulling each other off pins for him because they both wanted the money.
Yeah, it's like you got it. And in any type of three-way match where you have two people who are partners in the beginning, there's always that inevitable breakdown, and they started fighting, and then this is where Steven Styles took over again, and then he ends up getting the victory in the end. So
it'd be nice to make your own rules.
So the problem with this is he actually ended up bringing Mr. Spectrum into the ring and was fighting Mr. Spectrum and ended up somehow pitting Cobra's manager to win this match. I don't understand how pinning the manager ends the match, but I guess this is Styles' choice.
And it also has to do with that referee that Thaddeus put, Squiggy Magoo.
I swear to God, the guy probably is so blind.
Hell?
He's so blind he probably thought it was Cobra.
Yeah, he might not have known it was the manager, but when you own the company, you get to add rules, I guess.
Yeah, you pin whoever you want when you're the boss, I guess. But then from there, we move on to our third match of the evening, and it is a Singapore cane match between the Viking Lord Vince Austin and simply epic Eddie Rude. And this one actually started out pretty odd to me, because usually if you have these Singapore cane matches, usually either both men start with it or it's like up on a pole or something. What the start was actually referee Dougie Francis was in the middle of the ring with the Singapore cane on the mat, and Vince also went to one side of the building, Eddie went to the other, and he yelled, "Go!" But the thing is, Eddie cheated.
Yes.
Eddie cheated because he ran through the crowd instead of around the crowd like Vince did, who followed the rules. Which is surprising, because usually Vince is the cheater. But Eddie gets in the ring, and so Vince doesn't really want to come in the ring, and then Eddie does what I call probably the stupidest move in the world, and just says, "I don't need this anymore," and drops the cane to the outside. What a dumbass. And as me and my buddy Mike started chanting, "Eddie stupid, Eddie stupid, Eddie stupid."
Yeah, you're going against Vince Austin. You get an advantage at the start. The guy's crazy. and you give it up. You give it away. You're a no DQ match, and you give your weapon away.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I don't get that because like you're going against essentially middle-aged and crazy, the most unpredictable person in the entire RCW locker room, if not the most unpredictable man in all of wrestling in Edmonton or Alberta in general.
Yes.
And you give up a Singapore Cane, which did eventually come into the match, and they beat the living crap out of each other with it.
Yeah, they did. But Austin had a little help because about halfway through, he had his buddies come down. And
the power of friendship, as my buddy Mike liked to call it.
But it didn't matter because this was no DQ. Only pinfalls or knockouts, so the ref couldn't do nothing.
And in the end, Simply Epic Eddie Rude did get the victory by...
Vince hit Gunnar with the stick, or with the cane. He's feeling all bad because he knocked out his buddy, and Rude gets him from behind.
Yeah, so...
roll up, yeah.
Yeah, so and Epic Eddie Rude gets the roll-up and the win, and this crowd was super happy after that.
Oh, yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. So we move on to our fourth match of the evening, and it is a 2 out of 3 falls match. So this was it was a Commonwealth Championship match between Dirty Inc.'s Cameron Stevens and the current Commonwealth Champion, the Boon, as I call him, the Booniverse, but the Universe, Zach Mercury, and it was a fan vote match, and they chose 2 out of 3 falls, which I think it should have been. Zach has an arm tied around behind his back. That's the one I voted for, but you know. The smart people never get what they want. But this match was quite odd because very, very, very quickly, Cameron Stevens gets the first fall in this match.
It was just a quick pin out of nowhere. I was really surprised because normally the Universe puts on a little bit more of a fight than that.
Yeah, but just out of nowhere, Cameron Stevens just gets hit. I can't remember what he hit, but he hit the spear, pins him right 1, 2, 3. I for a second there I forgot it was even 2 out of 3 falls. I'm like, yes, Cameron Stevens won the belt. And then I realized, oh shit, so I got 2 more falls to go.
He did too. He was trying to get the belt by then.
Yeah, I know, and I'm yelling, and I was after I realized, I'm like, I yelled over Kyle because he's right by where I was sitting. I'm like, get the belt, you dumbass, because he wasn't grabbing the belt like he should be because he's the ring announcer. He should have been grabbing the belt. Brian, your thoughts on the first fall?
It was actually very quick. I think under 30 seconds because of bell rag, he whipped Mercury in, and then all of a sudden he just out of nowhere a spear came and boom, 3 count, and it was like, holy crap, that was fast.
So then we move on to our second fall of the match, and actually this one actually lasted probably a few more minutes. Like probably about 5-6 minutes on this on the second fall, and Mercury ends up getting the fall and tying it up 1-1. So then we move on to the third fall. Essentially in I see 95% of 2 out of 3 falls match. 2 out of 3 falls match. This is where it's nothing really happens till the third, and it ends good back and forth. But Mr. Dirty Mike Jones and Mr. Spectrum and Black Cobra, who were on the outside in support of Cameron Stevens, all got very involved in this match.
Yeah, they did, but it didn't. In the end, it kind of backfired because he actually hit Mercury. One of the managers hit Mercury with the chain.
That was Dirty Mike. Dirty
Mike hit him with the chain. Cameron pinned him, or went to Finn, but he kicked out at 2, and then in the end, he hit a wicked DDT and got the 1, 2, 3 to retain the belt.
So Zach gets the fall with with a move what most people call the Belly Buster, because it's that X Factor move, which I like to call the Belly Buster, because look at that gut on Zach Mercury. But again, Zach Mercury retains the championship, and he's still the RCW Commonwealth Champion. So from there, what ends up happening is Kyle, not as quite as good as me, Kyle Shaw, comes into the ring, and he brings out the man who helped destroy the NVR last month, the man that will take one half of the men that will take the tag team titles from the NVR. one of the greatest men to ever enter the ring, way better than MVR. Brutal Braden Lewis, one half of Onslaught, is here tonight with his partner, Dirty Dean Richter, is in Red Deer at CWC, defending his CWC Tag Team Championships against Chris Parrish and Jude Dawkins.
Yeah.
But that's why he couldn't be here tonight.
Tune into Mike's version of Quick Calls if you want to find out how that went.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Because we all know you wanted to listen to us first, but definitely listen to Mike afterwards.
We love both of you guys, so hell.
Yeah. So from here, what ends up coming out is that Brutal Braden Lewis, Onslaught, he's in the ring. He spiels about how they're dominant. They beat up the MVR and they want the tag team titles next month. And who does come out? The Newfoundland Viking Rage. Again, always with the man's advantage. Which and they come in, and I got to point this out. I won't be too brutal about it, but Gunnar had a nice spill to the outside, if I'm being generous here.
It looks like he just got caught up on the top rope when he was going in the ring and landed up going head first onto the floor.
So he put one leg over, and you can notice he didn't have his foot planted before he brought the other leg over. He was getting a little, I think he was like just wanting to get in there and piece of crap out of it.
Jacked up.
Yeah, and he gets his leg over, but he ends up toppling out of the ring back. We're all like staring at him like we're thinking he's okay. And then once he got up and was going, me, Mike, and Nick started laughing, but it was pretty funny. But he's okay. The monster's still alive. The monster still was a wrecking machine in this ring, because then he got into the ring and joined his mates, and they beat the living piss out of Brutal Braden Lewis.
Yeah, it was crazy. They put him through 3 friggin' doors. He was completely out unconscious. They needed to really help him to the back, he wasn't moving very fast. He was really slowly walking because it hurt like hell. He went through 3 friggin' tables.
They put him through 3 doors and then beat him with what was rest of the floor, what was rest of the doors. I don't know how they had 3 spare doors lying around, but they beat him. They put him through all of them, power bombs, Irish whips, beat him with what was left. I don't know how he walked out of the ring. And if they don't have a table, ladder, and chair match or something
no.
to get back at him?
Doors, ladders, and chairs match.
Yeah.
Okay, doors, ladders, and chairs. They got to have something like that to settle this, because this is just going to get ugly. This was brutal, and Onslaught's got a score to settle now.
The beating wasn't all that it was, because Andrew Hawks asked for the mic up. They put him through 3 doors. He was screaming, "You don't deserve a tag title match yet. You go out, get your partner here next month, face another team and earn it," is what Hawks said. Because he said they're not putting the titles up against somebody who's just walking in here. They want them to earn. They want whoever they're facing to earn a tag team title match, which, with what's coming later on, But so forth. So we went to intermission. I got my drink spilled on me because I got a drink. I got 2 free drinks because, I'm awesome and people like buying me drinks. And the ladies love me because it was both ladies. It was just 2 ladies that bought me drinks, so ladies love me, yeah. But elsewhere,
That's really, because this is the best concession wrestling in Edmonton.
But then James spills a drink on me. I go change my shirt, and we come back from intermission, and it's time for the semi-main event of the evening. It is top talent. What?
Versus Maxton Flex.
Sorry, you distracted me there. It's got top talent, heavy metal, and Big Jesse Youngblood taking on the team of Flexicade, Maxton Flexwell, and the Barricade. And I love Barricade's new gear. Not gear, but his new accessories coming out the ring. He's got these shoulder pads, kind of Road Warrior style.
But they're made out of tires.
Literally, they're made. The shoulder pads are made out of tires. Then he has chains hooking it all together and crossing it. I loved it.
It was awesome.
It made sense for a guy like Barricade, who says he's from the Trans-Canada Highway. He's just ripping up tires off that are laying on the side of the road of the Trans-Canada Highway. I love it. And he's ripping off those snow tires, the chains from the snow tires, and putting them on his body.
Yeah, gear looked good. Too bad we didn't get to see very much Barricade in the match, but...
Yeah, so we go into this match, and like I say, 92% of this match is Top Talent beating the living hell out of Flex and Maxwell. Is 92% about accurate, you think, guys?
Yeah, very.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, and then, so, a lot of beat up, and then in the end, so Flex and Maxwell ends up getting tagged. Barricade got tagged in the match, was doing pretty successfully, and then he tagged Flex and Maxwell while Heavy Metal and Big Jeff Youngblood are both in the ring. Flex and Maxwell goes up to the top rope and comes off, attending to hit Heavy Metal, but Metal jumps out of the way. He gets caught by Big Jeff Youngblood, who's right behind Metal. Jesse sets him up for a treaty driver. Metal ends up super kicking Barricade in the face, and Barricade ends up rolling out of the ring. And then you have Big Chest hit the treaty driver, and they get the 1, 2, 3. And then we proceeded to a pretty vicious beatdown.
Yeah, because Metal got on the mic and said that he had a rematch for the Canadian heavyweight title, which he does, because technically he still has a rematch. And he got on, he told Thaddeus that he wants his rematch next month.
Falls count anywhere.
Falls count anywhere. He doesn't care if Strife is concussed or not. He wants it. And to prove his point, he had this heavy glass ward or something, and literally...
Okay, so what that is from last month's Smith Hart Memorial tournament that happened in Calgary over 2 nights. That's actually the Memorial Championship that Matt Hart earned and won by beating Heavy Metal.
Oh, okay.
And he won it in the finals, and he won that, but then Heavy Metal attacked him and stole it. And then, from what I learned from our friends from Calgary, is that there was a very, very bloody incident in Calgary last night where Heavy Metal actually took the full piece, when it was still in a full piece, and smashed it over the head of Matt Hart and actually cut him open really bad, and actually got some glass, because there's more glass to it. And actually, Metal got cut open, Matt Hart got cut open, and they left a lot of blood in the ring. So I'm surprised there wasn't stains in there from last night. But it actually, if you actually looked at it, I saw it up close. You could still see Matt Hart's blood on it.
I could see blood. There was some this reddish think color on it. I thought it was blood, but
yeah, Matt Hart, that's Matt Hart, and actually some of Heavy Metal's blood on there.
Yeah, and
Heavy Metal's face was still swollen. You could see where it got beat up pretty bad.
Yeah, that's cuts from stuff, and but then he ends up hitting Barricade with this thing and knocking Barricade the hell out. He was out cold, and it took Flexton. Flexton had to get help to the back, and then the sound guy and just one of the guys that ring crew guys ended up helping carry Barricade to the back, because come on, gigantic human being needs to be helped to the back. Yeah. 2 guys, and we hope for the best for these guys, because Jesus
Christ, was that ever brutal, man? I don't know why. And when he did that, after he did that, Big Jess was like, "What the hell? Why did you do that?" Well, but when he was walking by me, Big Heavy Metal said, "I didn't mean to hit him that hard." But obviously Metal knew what he was doing, because he made his point across to Thaddeus. He wants that title match no matter what. Yeah.
So from there, we end up going to our main event of the evening, and it is Andrew Hawks versus Daniel Burns, and I thought up until the end of this match, one hell of a match. These two, Daniel Burns, and I think, because Squiggy, I didn't hear Kyle announce it, but I saw Squiggy Magoo walking around the ring with the belt in the air. I guess it was for Daniel Burns' junior heavyweight championship.
I have no idea,
because I don't remember Kyle announcing it, and I don't remember. But
he never said it was a title match. So,
but Squiggy Magoo had it up in the air, so I guess it was a title match according to Squiggy Magoo. But in the end, NVR interfered, as they always do, because as Mike would call it, friendship, as I would call it, being pieces of crap, and none of them can fight their battles on their own, and they all kind of group beat the hell out of Daniel Burns, and who comes to make the save? The simply epic Eddie Rude comes out to make the save, and he's saving a guy who he actually went to war with for a little while recently. But he comes out because mutual hatred for a person. Remember, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. So he comes out, gets the mic, and he says he's sick of NVR's crap. I'm constantly beating people up 3-on-1, and he says, "Well, maybe it's time we find a partner." And he says, he asks everybody, "Do you want us to team up?" And the crowd loves it, and he calls them. So there's multiple names they call them. They call them
Epic Hooligans.
Epic Hooligans.
The Tinder Terrorizers.
The Tinder Terrorizers. The monstersofmatch.com and Team Swipe Right, which is my favorite, is Team Swipe Right, because come on, swipe right. And that's the chant they got going with, Swipe Right, and I absolutely love that one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And they challenged them. I'm pretty sure they challenged them for the tag team titles next month. Is that what makes sense? I'm thinking that's where it's going. It's tag team title match, which is to prove a point. Literally, you just had before the intermission, and you're saying they're not giving tag team title matches to just anybody, but yet I think we're getting a tag team title match to a brand new team. But caveat is, Daniel Burns DQ win over Hawks, and Epic Eddie Rude DQ win over Vince Austin. I think that earns him a tag team title shot in that sense.
Yeah, each of them earned wins over MVR members. I could see that makes sense.
That to me, I know what they say, earn it, and to me, in this case, they did earn it.
They did. Yeah, they did. I hope we get to see a title match between these teams, man. It'll be pretty cool to see, because Daniel Burns and Simply Eddie, I think they'll make a great team. And we know NVR, they're one of the most dominant teams here in Edmonton and on the wrestling scene. So I think this will be a pretty good war between these four guys.
And you also got to remember, Onslaught is waiting in the wings. Like,
that's true.
These guys terrorized NVR last month. They terrorized Brutal, Braden back, but Dean Richter wasn't here either.
True.
So again, 3-on-1, cheap tactics. But I look forward to this, because this could be pretty epic thing, especially with
Eddie Rude.
I guess, yeah, pretty epic with Eddie Rude. I didn't mean to go there on that one, but with Onslaught waiting in the wings, you never know what's going to happen next month when these 4 or 5, I guess, face off. And I look forward to it so much.
Yeah, and I don't know. Eddie Rude showed earlier that he can hang with MVR when they decide to go dirty. He can beat him he beat him in the Singapore Cane match. He can go hardcore with the way MVR likes to fight. And Daniel Burns is one of the toughest wrestlers in Edmonton.
And you gotta look,
take anything.
Daniel was hanging with Hawks.
Yeah.
The only reason the match ended in a because the other two decided to interfere, because Daniel had the upper hand and was closing in on a win.
They pulled the ref out of the ring.
Twice
in the match.
Like, the first time they did, Squeaky Magoo was like, "Oh, blah, blah, well, don't touch me again." And he went back in. And he should have just tossed them both the hell out right then and there. But then they pulled him out again, and he's like, "Screw this, it's over." He threw the match out, which I think was the right thing to do, because they interfered.
Exactly.
The only other thing I would have done was toss them out and let it finish, but I'm fine with this, because it sets up a pretty epic tag match next month.
If they wouldn't have pulled him out, Daniel would have won anyway. Daniel gets the DQ victory.
Yeah, Daniel gets the victory either way, so it's fair. And, yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think this was a great way to cap off a night.
Oh, it was a great match. Both wrestlers, super impressive. And, yeah, they started off with a strong match night. They ended with a strong match night. Entertaining night for everybody.
Oh, yeah, very good. Great way to end the show. And, we had this crowd that it was here tonight. I think if they keep getting these, they're going to need a bigger building, because it was pretty much jam-packed, standing room only again tonight. And from the beginning to the end, this crowd was nonstop vocal. It was unbelievable.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the highlights of the night. We're going to go first to Brian. Brian, your highlight of the night, my friend.
My highlight of the night is the Singapore Cane match between Vince Austin and Simply Epic Eddie Rude. I thought this was a great match. Both were going after the cane. Eddie went toe-to-toe with Vince. In the end, he got the win, and it proved that he can hang with the NVR.
Yeah. So, Dylan, your highlight of the night, my friend.
I like the match between Top Talent and Flexwell and Barricade. Really entertaining match, and at one point, Top Talent decided they were going to toss Flexwell. I think he landed up in the second or third row. He was right in front of me.
He landed on top of Luke, our buddy Luke.
Yeah.
And it was just it looked really good. It was really effective. I thought it was a great spot. I really enjoyed the match. That's my highlight.
My highlight of the night is going to the main event. These two just killed it in the ring, like back and forth. They show why they're the two best wrestlers in this company right now, and just killed it. And especially with we had the interference at the end, but then there's the post match. I loved it all. Just phenomenal way to end the night. And I'm gonna give a bonus star to this crowd, because tonight this crowd was rocking. Like there was a lot of drunk people. I'll say this, but everybody was cheering. Everybody was. So that's my bonus. That's the bonus star for the night. Is the crowd, because they packed this place and they were loud. That's what if you pack. It doesn't matter if you pack a place. If the crowd's not loud, you're not doing your job, and they were loud. I loved it. Like, both star of the night. So, Brian, Dylan, thank you both very much for coming out. Dylan, any last words?
Not really. Just hope to see everybody out here next month, because the last few months of
That's what it is.
last few RCW shows have been just top quality. And when's the next show here?
October 20th.
Come out to that one, because
Rise of Legend.
Featuring Kevin Sullivan,
the Taskmaster.
WCW legend, my friends.
Oh God,
it's gonna be a good time.
it's gonna be awesome.
Lately, these guys don't disappoint.
No, Brian, pimp yourself out where people talk to you, and your last thoughts of the night.
You can get me on Twitter at The Wrestling Mind.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was a great show. Can't wait for next month. And, just come out, enjoy the independent wrestling here in the city. We have 3 great promotions that run here. We have another one running in November in
Sherwood Park. We'll have more info on that as it comes out.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one, and to all the next shows. We got PWA next Saturday, and the Saturday after that is MPW.
Yeah, we got a huge lineup coming out through the next couple of weeks. You'll hear myself, Brian. I don't know if Dylan, you're going to be there, buddy. Dylan, and hopefully, if he makes it this time, Win Column Sports Spencer Love, if he makes it to the show.
Last time he had an accident.
So, and that'll be coming out in a week's time. But don't forget, the other show that should be up right around the same time as us is Mike's Quick Calls from CWC. And you can catch me on Twitter at That Canada Guy, on Instagram at That Canada Dude. Guys, thank you very much for coming out. And RCW Dealer's Choice, phenomenal show. Phenomenal. And if you want to make a good call, make a quick call. And I am Andre C. with Wrestling Mind Brown Hamilton and our good buddy Dylan from the St. John's Cultural Center in Edmonton, Alberta. Have a great night and support indie wrestling wherever you are.